What's up, everyone? Thank you for joining us and welcome to Elite Fantasy Nation Podcast. I'm your host, Matt Dennis. You can follow me at Fantasy Matt EFN. Together, as usual, with my brother, Pat Wendelkin. You can follow him at CityStars136. What's up, Pat? Man, fucking crazy week for us.
Just another day in the life of regular average people, clearly, I guess.
Yeah, dude. Cars suck. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
James Jiggity Gemez was supposed to be on, was it last week?
Last week, man. We planned it, and that got
yeah,
cut
he
short.
gets the day of. It was actually the day of, so it's kind of like like what we'll talk about here in a second, revolving around you. But yeah, so Jiggity Gemez, man, got in a car accident. Some bus fucking hit his car and totaled it. So he couldn't be on the podcast last week. So then we used it as an opportunity to just say fuck it, we won't do one. And then over the weekend, I'm driving my car, blow a tire going 70 miles an hour. Not just blow a tire, lose the whole back of the tire. Look outside the back with the rearview mirror, and I see my tire rolling down the highway, like legitimately nothing left but the rim. Apparently, it's called dry rot or something or else. Like that 70 miles an hour. Can you imagine, dude? Like, I tell the story like nothing even really happened, and everybody's like, dude, like you must have been like kind of freaked out. I'm like, no, I actually just pulled over and got off the off ramp. I drove like about a half a mile on a rim. Just got that thing back $2,500 later, so fuck off on there.
Yeah, that's always fun, man.
Yeah, and then today, man, why don't you get this story about what just happened to you earlier?
I'm just crazy. It's like the icing on the cake. I'm just coming back, getting some material from a store. I'm on the home stretch. I'm like 5 blocks away, about to make a left on this street, headed to a light, and out of nowhere, I just get side hit right into my fender. A guy just pushes me into the other side of the road. I was like, oh, this is sounds fitting. I was like, wow. First thing I thought of, I'm like, dude, this is a third accident within like 3 weeks, practically, like car issues, I should say. Yeah. So I'm like, things come in 3, and I guess it was my turn. Man. I was like, I'm next. Thanks, appreciate it. You know.
I mean, you sent me the picture, and I mean, any damage isn't good, but I think you got the least of it. I mean, Jiggity Gemma's got his car totaled. I have basically all had to replace all 4 wheels and other shit. So I had
a fender and a bumper, dude, in some stuff. It might rack
up. It ain't cheap. I mean, it's not cheap. I'm not trying to say that it's cheap. You know, obviously any accident in general.
Car,
you don't want to be in part of anything. All car shit's expensive. To your point, yeah, good call. Yeah,
crazy, man. I'm like, fuck.
not our week. So hopefully we've been chatting with James. It seems like he's okay, and car's officially totaled. So hopefully he gets that all sorted out, and we can get him back on.
Yeah, man.
He got a mic because last time his audio was kind of wonky, and he's like, "Dude, I'll get a mic. I'm on this shit." Like so, yeah. So we'll have a nice little setup next time. And for the first time ever, we're actually recording this. We're doing a little
first time. We're
doing a little test on this. I'm gonna try to mess around with it over the weekend. Drop on YouTube maybe if I find it's useful. You can see I probably should have taken on the paint chips in the back. Trying to do like a proper setup, man, and see how it looks. But yeah, so you might see this randomly pop up on YouTube. We want to build that channel. I've mentioned a couple of times, and we're finally doing it. So we got a nice little backdrop. I went to Adobe something or other and found this. It says on air. And then we got our names, man. We look all professional, dude. So we'll
little by little, man.
Yeah, little by little, dude. We finally trying to see where we can take this little train, man. Take it off the
little engine that could, right? Was run with it, man.
Yeah, well, there's been a lot of news the past couple of weeks, man. So I figured we'd get on and really just kind of have a discussion about coaching hires. I feel like that's one of the biggest things that comes out of fantasy. Can be who's where. What they could bring, the potential that they could then build into that offense. So yeah, I figured we'll walk through some coaching hires. Basically, so today is Thursday, February 1st.
Thursday.
Man. Wow. Can you believe it's February already, dude? What the fuck?
Too quick, bro. Way too fast.
Yeah, dude. But I mean, it's good though.
I'm ready to draft again, man. Let's go.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's good because it's February. Next thing you know, I'm watching. I got in the background. The East-West Shrine Bowl is on, which I know is not the Senior Bowl. So the Senior Bowl is a Saturday. Thursday before that, they always do the East-West Shrine Bowl. So we'll talk about some of the players there. This is really not a lot. This is more of the deeper players, deeper draft class. Day 3, probably late day 2, early day 3, late day 3, or maybe not even, UDFA as well. So we could talk a little bit about that too. But so yeah, we got that. I got that going on in the background. We're recording, man. Get to see our grim faces if I end up putting this on, if I don't hate it too much. But
well,
yeah,
kind of grew. I'm a little grizzly right now, but we'll take it.
That's all right, man. It's Thursday. We both look like shit. We'll call it what it is, but we're good. Yeah, man. So yeah, let's kind of kick it off first, man. We'll just kind of go down the list, dude. But why don't we just do this? So what out of all the coaching hires, it's crazy how many positions there were, the opportunities that were open. There's a total of what do we got? 4, 6, 8. There's 8, vacancies, man, which is basically a quarter of the league if you think about it. So a quarter of NFL teams had fired their coach throughout the season. So I mean, it's kind of insane. So pick one. Call it your favorite, the one that you just think is like you're really excited about for whatever reason, and kind of like walk into that and take us through why.
All right, so I got like a sexy one, and then like the one I'm excited about. Like there's like hype.
I think I probably know your sexy one. I feel like we probably both had the sexy one, but go ahead.
Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers, that sexy pick. I mean, it's the most obvious. What can he produce with Herbert is like what you want to see now. Like let's see what the real potential with these guys. Eckler is still questionable to where he's going to be next year, I guess you can say. That's always a question mark. Wide receivers, the defense, the whole thing needs a big, refresh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean 1,000%. I mean, Justin Herbert had a really off year. That offense is sputtering a lot, which is why everybody got fired. I mean, Quentin Johnson. That's the other question that kind of like goes along with that is like, coming out of the draft last year, everybody had, up and down thoughts on him. Some people thought he was not going to pan out just because he's not really a separator. He drops the ball quite a bit, which he's been having problems with the NFL with that as well. So it'd be interesting to see like what he can get out of Quentin Johnson. Like that's like the one sexy as fuck, dude. I mean, that's like one of those where, he could take that team in probably 2 years to Super Bowl. It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's, as a Bears fan, there was talks of like maybe the coaching staff, the head coach in the Chicago getting fired, and there's talks of him maybe, them wanting him, but that didn't come to fruition. But man, I'm happy for the Chargers. I feel like that's probably the best spot for him, where he could have gone, that or Atlanta. I feel like were probably the two that like has the most amount of talent that he could have really done a lot of damage right away. So yeah, sexy as hell, dude. For sure. I agree.
And then the pick that I'm kind of the most excited to see what he can really do is Mr. Dan Quinn. Because we were texting about that earlier. You were really excited throughout the day about that. Because I mean, you stay in like the division now.
That's so, crazy. I know.
I love that. I think that's crazy, but I love it because I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Like this guy, he's like, all right, fuck the Cowboys now. Now you're my enemy.
Well, that's got to be a fuck you to Jerry Jones. It's literally got to be like the biggest fucking middle finger to Jerry Jones. It's just like,
plus,
you can sit on my fucking
he was
finger,
probably
dude.
just as pissed as where they ended the season, like usual. He's like, the Cowboys hype, phenomenal year, and boom, right on cue. It's like that. Yeah. So he was like, listen, let it go. He probably wasn't happy with a lot of internal things going on. I'm sure. I'm just hypothetically saying. He's like, whatever. Yeah. And then now he goes to Washington. They're looking to build a fresh new start, new ownership, new stadium's gonna be coming sooner than later. There's a lot of big things going. He's like, let me jump on.
They got the second overall pick in the draft too. I mean,
dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's a lot to look forward to with this. It's a young team, man. That's a super young team.
Yeah,
so I think that's where I'm kind of going with that, and I love it because, like, the big FU part to the Cowboys was awesome. I was like, what? I'm like, okay, I like it. I was like, this dude is definitely saying, screw you all. I'll show you what I can really do, and hopefully I can, went from a team that didn't make the playoffs to see what I could do on my end. You know what I mean? And then let's see what you do without me now.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because like Dallas Cowboys got blown out by the Packers. Like they just like ran all over that defense. So
and that was not even close to what everyone expected. They were expecting
and like
a huge win, bro. Like
that was a big surprise because he was on the list of a lot of people as like one of the top, prospects for head coach. But then that happened, and everybody's like, "Whoa, Dan Quinn might be out." Like he may be stuck in Dallas because like after seeing that debacle and that collapse by his defense. I mean, that's on him, dude. That defensive collapse is on him. You're the DC, man. Like they just got smacked around like they were a JV team. I mean, it was kind of embarrassing.
It was bad.
That was supposed to be that good. So yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. I think the one thing that and not say that I have a lot of offensive players or juggernauts by any means. I mean, obviously it's Washington, but they're going to go for a quarterback, second overall pick. That's a foregone conclusion. You know, it's just a matter of who they're going to take. You know, the question is that like with a defensive minded coach, is he going to be able to like actually, whoever they draft, is he going to be able to have that offense, you know, in a good position? Hopefully he has a really good OC and gets them to kind of like build that the right way. So, I mean, that's my only thing whenever I see like, you know, a team like that and going for a very, very, very hardcore old school kind of like Dan Quinn defensive coach. I mean, it just kind of throw that out there. So yeah, you were stoked about that all day, man. I
was like, that is cool, man. Yeah. I kind of like seeing like that, like, you know, little.
Yeah, we didn't talk about why you were
grudge.
excited about it, but it makes sense.
Yeah,
now.
like I'm like, dude, that's a cool fucking move. And this relates to you, Mr. Bears fan. They're talking about how the Giants is potentially looking to make a deal with your Bears for the first round pick. Just so you know, that's big.
Right first now overall, here. You mean?
Yes. Yeah. First pick, number 1.
Yeah. I mean, there's talks of Vegas too. Apparently wants it because you know, they'll fucking throw whatever, dude. They don't care. They'll throw all the capital they want. So
with that ownership, yes.
Oh, dude. Yeah. Sure. He'll bet $1 million on red and not even blink. So yeah. Yeah, dude, it'd be interesting, man. I mean, that's obviously the talk is this offseason and like exactly the Bears do have the first overall pick. There's, you know, even for myself, and I know we're talking about coaches, so we'll get back to them in a second. But even for myself, man, it's like some days I wake up and I'm like, fucking Caleb, man, let's go all in. Like, let's go. And
yeah.
Other days I'm like, you know,
dude, Fields played. I like him,
Fields
bro.
Played good, but like, can he really become that elite superstar, or is he just gonna be stuck in this like mediocrity, you know, like mediocre kind of like space where like he's good but not great, you know? And I think that's where he's at now. So I really love what they did to the offense. So they've basically fired all the offensive coaches. The only two that they had left was the tight ends coach and it was a tight ends coach, and I think tight ends and running and O-line coach is the only two that they kept.
Right.
And they fired everybody else, and they brought in some amazing talent from Seattle and just like all over. And I think they did a really good job. So it'll be interesting, man. The Bears have a lot of good things their way. So.
For sure, dude. Super into it, man. I'm excited to see it because you have a lot of young talent to play with, man. And a lot of picks to play with.
Oh hell yeah! I mean, I just wish we had our second round pick, but for Montez Sweat, man, that was worth it. That was the other thing I was going to say for Dan Quinn. He must be pissed, man. He's going, you know, to Washington, who literally traded away Swift last year to the Bears, and then you know, trade away whatever his name is to the
Chase
Young, thank you, to the 49ers. So like two young studs on either end, and they're both gone, and you got to be wondering if he's like kicking himself like, what the fuck did you guys do? But to your point, they're going to go younger. It allows him to like walk in there.
100%, bro. 100%. He's just going to be. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. Want me give you a little rundown of the other ones that do you want to talk about, or
let me jump in real quick. And probably the one that I'm most excited about, in all honesty, is going to be the Carolina Panthers. So they hired Dave Canales from Tampa Bay. Obviously Bryce Young struggled mightily last year. That's why they have what would have been their number one pick, or first overall pick. That is now the Bears because they traded it last year to the Bears to get Bryce Young. So I'm just interested to see like what he can do. He obviously did a lot with Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. I mean, Baker looks fucking great. Like he's still Baker. He still did his thing where, you know, he still did the stupid interceptions. He still kind of like does stupid things, but that's just Baker Mayfield. And I think, you know, at some point, it's not in the OC's hand necessarily. It's kind of also in the player's hand.
Correct.
But I think it's the best that you've ever seen of Baker Mayfield. So I'm interested to see how he can take that and translate that for Bryce Young and what that looks like for the Carolina Panthers. So that's the one that I'm probably most excited about because I feel like Hardball you already hit on. I mean, that's just like a skyrocket emoji. Like that thing's just going through the roof. Hopefully you can fix that. But yeah, Dave Canales and Carolina Panthers, I think was an amazing hire. And I honestly like, you know, we'll go through them all, I guess, here in a minute. But I really like they stole your OC from Cincinnati. Maybe we'll go to that one next. So I wanted to kind of get your perspective.
Yeah,
on
Brian
that.
Callahan.
So Brian Callahan goes to, I'll just kind of just to frame it up, Tennessee Titans. They basically take the OC from Cincinnati Bengals, Brian Callahan. So initial thoughts. I mean, obviously the offense wasn't great this year for the Bengals. I know injuries and other stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, look at like Jake Browning did extremely well, stepping up, and the offense produced pretty well with a lot of, you know, like younger guys stepped in and, you know, they played the role and still did good. I mean, and look, this man landed a head coaching job with Tennessee that has still has youth, and they're going to be in a rebuild. So
what can you do with Will Levis?
Can you make him what you want? Like, can you do, like, making a Burrow effect? Who knows what he's really looking for? Because clearly that's he's been working with the whole time. And then the young stars, that are there, Spears and everyone else that's going to be around.
Tajay, dude, that's a good point. Like Tajay, I'm really excited to see, because Derrick Henry's going to be gone. They're not going to bring him back.
Henry's gone. I mean, D-Hop will be there. He's going to be like the older veteran cat that's going to stay around, I'm sure, I think. Yep. And then, the rest is all going to be young rising stars coming in. So I think that they're just trying to see what can get produced with this guy in a new, fresh start. Mike Vrabel's long gone. We all thought he was going to have a job. That was our, we were talking about that prior, but hey, Gerard Mayo got the thing. He's best friends with the big boss up north. So that's how that went. And that's it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think you hit on it, with Tennessee. I mean, it's exciting to see. They've got a lot of young prospects there, and it's just interesting. It'll be interesting to see the OC, Brian Callahan, and how he can, get the best out of Will Levis, or he gives it a year and then he says, "Hey, he's not our guy. We gotta draft somebody new." So that'd be
for sure.
And he's young too. I mean, I feel like if I remember correctly, I think he's one of the youngest. He is the youngest head coach, I think, if I remember correctly.
I think
it was either him or Canales. It was either him or Canales. I can't remember which one off the top of my head, but one of them was like the youngest head coach at like 30, mid 30, 36 or something like that. So kind of crazy, man. That's 10 years younger than me. I'm 45, so that's like me being 10 years almost into a head coaching career. Like,
pretty cool though.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Good for him, man. I wish him luck, man.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So let's see who else are we gonna hit. All right, Atlanta Falcons, man. Raheem Morris. So came over from the Los Angeles Charger. He was the DC there. What's your thought there, if you have any? I mean, some of these I was just kind of like, whatever.
That's nothing. I don't know. The Chargers sucked. I think they all deserved to get fired regardless. They were just bad all around, and they had great defense that did nothing. People walked on the Chargers. So to me, that team's still going to suck next year. I don't see any improvement on that end from the head coaching point, I should say. Yeah, with a lot of young talent there too.
Yeah, no, it's that's the one. Big sigh. That's the one where, like, to your point, they have so much fucking talent, man, and it's like, how do you not hire an offensive coach? Again, they go in the defensive minded. Like, I don't know. It's just like, it doesn't really make sense. You had Arthur Smith who was there, who didn't know what the hell to do with the stars that he had, and he was an offensive mind. Now you've got a defensive coach who, again, hopefully they do something. I mean, it's kind of a shame, like, all that talent they have, all those first-round offensive weapons that they've drafted over the past 3 to 4 years, and they literally just sit on the shelf rotting away. I mean, I'd be pissed if I was one of them. Yeah,
the shelf life will expire eventually. I mean, these dudes, like, get them while they're young and create something, and I don't know. Yeah. They're just going to stand still. I don't see an upgrade. But one person I do like on this list that deserved it, Mr. Pierce. Deserved his job.
Yeah, I was eyeing that too. So you go ahead first. You take it away, brother.
I love him, dude. Antonio Pierce, bro, deserved his job. He earned it, and the whole team, like, literally rallied around the guy, and they love him.
Oh, and they said, like, coming out, like they literally said, like, the right after the firing, and he got initiated into the interim head coach position. Literally every player was like, it was like a light switch flipped, and it was like the mood is like back to like having fun, energy. Like, they're like, it was instantaneous.
And they were winning. Dude, they were winning games. And it was, because and even when they lost, they were still in it. Yeah, like
they're fighting for their coach, man.
Correct. Yeah, they're like, we got someone that has our back. We love it. Let's rock with them. And Mark Davis saw it too. He was like, He's like, oh man, this is great. There's energy. He saw it automatically.
Dude, I mean, Mark Davis had no choice. Like, he had to keep Antonio Pierce. Could you imagine the riot that would have happened in that locker room if they, like, walked away from Antonio Pierce and hired somebody else? Like,
they'd been like, send me the trade. Send me. Put me on waivers. I don't care what you got to do.
Max Crosby actually had said that too at one point. He said, if Antonio Pierce isn't here, I am not going to be here. He's like, literally, I will force a trade. He's like, I will not play for anybody else except for him. Like, at the end of the season, he literally was like, if you're not going to keep this guy, then fucking trade me, because I'm not going to play for you.
Full of energy, bro. I love that. Man. That was stick up for your coach because he stuck up for them.
Oh
I mean,
yeah. Well, again, a player's coach. He was a player, so I mean, it's like he knows what it's like, man. He knows how to. He was a captain too. Like he knows how to like get the most out of the people around him. So yeah, that's an amazing. That's probably one of my favorite. Just I don't know how much.
for sure.
We'll see what from a fantasy perspective. Like there's talks of maybe Justin Fields, if they do trade him, he might go to the Atlanta or to Vegas. So
I can see that.
What the offense, what happens to the offense, but yeah. And so I don't disagree with you. What was your least favorite? How about that? The one that you're just like, what the fuck? Or the one that you're just like, this is just stupid.
Well, it was definitely the one we were just talking about before. Like
Atlanta,
like it's still. I mean, like I'm not really too. I mean, the Baltimore hire we haven't touched, but like I mean, Seattle's hire. They took the the DC.
Yep,
Mike
those
McDaniel.
Are the two that jumped out at me. Yeah,
I'm like they're not like we don't even have to waste too much time. Like Baltimore had a great defense, but you're going to like a team that's like okay. There's nothing. The Legion of Boom is gone, bro. It's not like I don't know, man. And like not for
and the cupboard's dry. There's a lot of old players.
Was.
There's a lot of old players on that team too. I mean, it's like
DK's getting older. Yeah. Lockett's getting old, bro. The defense is getting old. I mean,
Geno,
come on, man.
I mean, it's like Geno's an older quarterback.
Not,
I mean, JSN,
old age. Yeah, that's
you got Jackson Smith and Jigba is like really the only guy that's there. That's like new. That's like something new. That's like future.
Yeah,
everything else is it's a weird.
I'm not
weird
a big
situation.
fan of that whole thing. I mean, and the running backs are okay. That's about it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. The running backs are younger too. So
yeah, but other than that, I'm cool, bro. Like next, but I mean, Matt, you got to be honest. There is some surprise people that are hired and some that did not get hired at all and will be sitting the bench. So
look at you segueing, man. I love it, man. You're starting to kind of do more of the hosting segueing. I love that.
So, bro, I'm with you, bro. We're a team here, man.
Let's talk about some surprises, bro. Like you go first, you hit one, I'll hit one, and we'll kind of like talk about some no jobs.
So
some unemployment checks that people are collecting that haven't got jobs.
Man. The one that I'm just like, the one I actually am happy for. Okay, is straight up. I'm gonna say is Ben Johnson stays in Detroit because everyone rallied around the team, even though fucking guy fucks up at the end, Mister Risk It All. Instead of Riverboat Ron, it should be fucking Dan because you've been running that dice all year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though. There was a lot of dropped, like there was like 3 or 4 balls that if the receivers had caught it, it could have changed the game.
Dude.
The fumble was massive.
Yeah. That was big. Yeah. So I mean,
I don't put it on the coaches necessarily, but no, agreed. Good. Sorry, I cut you off,
dude.
Man.
So I'll go. Like I said, man, I like that they're sticking together. Like that's big to me. Like stay unified. Let's try this again. And he just showed how much he really loves that organization and the players.
Yeah, and that's what he said.
And
he said the reason why
too. Like, dude, it's a great room.
Yeah, he said that the reason why I stayed was he wants to win a Super Bowl. Like he wants to finish it. Like, and that's the reason why
they can do it.
Oh, they
don't have.
Honestly, they should be in the Super Bowl this year. So I mean, they know how close 100%. They are and how much that they fucked it up. So, ironic to that, there's so I listen to a lot of the different like Chicago podcasts and everything, and the Bears obviously. And they were saying, because obviously we kept Eberflus, so everybody's saying that he's got 1 year, and if he doesn't like show it, that like this is probably his one and done. Like they're gonna get rid of him. So irony enough, Ben Johnson could be there next year, or even the next guy who I'll talk about here in a second could be there next year for the Bears that they wanted to just clean house if like it doesn't go this year. So I like there's been a lot of talk about that where they're like, ooh, maybe it's good that like they didn't get rid of Eberflus this year because both of those both him and Bobby Slowick, which is who I was going to say. Bobby Slowick the OC stayed in Houston. He wants to work. He said he wants to stick around a little bit longer, work there and kind of like groom CJ Stroud a little bit more. So it worked really well. He said he wants to give another year and kind of put a little more tutelage into CJ. So he pulled his name out a lot of head coaching offers as well. Actually, I think it was the same day that Ben Johnson did too, which was kind of
it ironic. Was. There was like simultaneous, like they both
was
were
like an hour too late.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm staying too. Yeah.
Well, the story about Ben Johnson. Did you hear how much crazy? Did you hear the crazy shit that this guy was asking for? Ben Johnson.
He had like the king's ransom. He was like
$15 million a year is apparently what his starting price was. It's like he's like I want $15 million a year, and like for what it sounded like teams were just like, yeah, whoa, we're good, and then like that's when he's like, oh, I guess I'll just stay. So what happened or didn't happen, who knows? But that's the floating. I'm sure everybody's heard it by now, but that's the floating rumor is that like he walked in with his dick on the table and was like, "If you want this shit, you got to pay." And they're like, "Yeah, we're good." And they just like
we'll stick with what we got.
The door. Yeah. Yeah. Then Bobby Sloak was the other one that we both kind of thought was odd. But either way, I mean,
that's not the oddest. We didn't even touch the oddball in the room, dude.
All right, I'll lay it up to you.
We'll let that be the last one. You should go with the ones that are on unemployment right now. Go for it.
All right, we're gonna say the unemployment one. Which is, actually, this is where I thought you were going, but not the last one on the list is where you're really going. So, anyways,
correct.
Unemployment. Billy. I'm gonna call him Billy from now on. Billy, no job, Belichick. Nobody wanted him. Apparently, he had like 2 interviews for Atlanta, and that was it. That's all that I heard. It didn't sound like he might have had a phone call with somebody on one other team. But it was pretty much like,
he had L.A. He had something in the beginning.
I think he had a virtual like interview with them, and then they like quickly passed on him.
He probably wants to take over everything. That's why. If it's like, I'm here, I want this, and this. And then Mike Vrabel probably like run over with him, or who knows, you know what I mean? Like
maybe he's like, I want to rebuild fucking New England in Atlanta, and they're like, yeah, we're good.
Next.
It's that, but then also too, I mean, it's just like what has he done lately? I mean, if you look at it, and there's rumors out there that like everybody's the rub on him was like, look what happened with his relationship with Tom Brady. And basically pushed Tom Brady out and told leadership that he wasn't good enough and they should just move on from him. And a year later, he wins the Super Bowl at Tampa Bay. So, like, that kind of was spurring a little bit. So, who knows on there? But, yeah, Billy, no job. Belichick.
He's out.
Yep. Bye-bye, Billy. Bye-bye, Billy.
Yeah, he'll be on Nantucket, bro. I'll say hi to him when I visit this year. I know where he is at.
If the fucking Bears hire his ass next year, I swear to God, I'm done. I'm never going to talk about that organization.
Bro, then the other one, I think this has to do with his age and his mentality with Pete Carroll because he's very because I know they had a lot of drama in the front office and all that crap with him and how he is with players and it's his way or the highway. Very similar to like a Belichick on like it's his show, his shit.
He can run people the wrong way for sure. Yep.
So, and plus he's not any younger. Guy's like 80. Like, dude, chill out, bro. Like,
But that dude runs up and you see him on the game. He runs up and down that field.
Oh, I know, dude. So much energy. I like him, but I don't think people like how he runs things behind the scenes. He's probably different. So, they sit around, they hang around one more year, see what happens, and God knows. But let's dude, put the elephant in the room. The stupidest goddamn hire. Like, I get a rant going. I hate this shit.
All right, man.
And I'm telling you right now,
I'm gonna pause myself. You take the mic, bro.
Nah, bro. Listen, this fucking Pittsburgh fucking Steelers, bro. Excuse my language, but what? No, don't excuse the language.
It deserves it. It deserves it.
Let me tell you something right now, man. How dumb are you? Shit. So you hire Arthur Smith. Gets the OC.
Who just got fucking fired because he can't even use his own goddamn offensive players the right way.
Mind you, with really some nice talent, starting talent down in Atlanta, dude. They have some great young guys.
We just said it a second ago.
Bijan, all these other guys.
The past 4 years, they've drafted offensive weapons in the first round. Past 4 years.
London,
he did shit with them.
I'm like... I saw that hire.
Oh, dude,
I was like, what? I'm like, no. I was like, all right, great. Because you know who I root for right behind me, bro? You see that shit? Yes, Cincinnati, bro. We don't give a fuck. This makes it a lot easier for me. So, listen, let Trey and them fucking sack the shit out of his quarterback and throw wild shit. Can't hear you, Matt. You muted yourself.
Damn, I must have I was trying to adjust the mic, so thank you. I'm glad you told me. I was talking. I'm like,
yeah.
So for everybody who can't see live, so behind Pat is a framed jersey of Jamar Chase signed jersey, right? Is that the one that's signed?
Yes. Yeah, that's.
Oh yeah, there you can go. Your head is covering it. So yeah, signed in the number 1. So yeah. So yeah, he's talking shit about the Pittsburgh Steelers. But dude, I mean, how dumb are you? How absolutely stupid are you to hire somebody who got fired from an organization because you didn't know how to use the offensive weapons that the organization drafted, and he doesn't know how to use them, and they're all top talent, and you're gonna hire him thinking he's gonna fix their offense.
And that offense had problems to begin with. They're having QB issues. Like, what?
Dude, like, it makes no damn sense. Like, I literally thought when I read it this morning at work, I was like, am I fucking drunk? Like, is this shit real?
No, Pittsburgh was drunk because they clearly were like, yeah, sure, come on over. Like, what?
Yeah, how much do you want? Where's the check? Let's go.
Bro, you should have played a high school team. Should have hired his ass. Maybe they can get something a little better. Because other than that, it was nothing at all. Like, dude, no one. That's the only call he probably got. He just said yes, no problem, whatever. I'll take it. You know,
he's like, where do I sign? How much you paying me?
Got it.
Sweet.
Yeah, okay, no problem. Okay, good.
I'm game.
I'll do it for free food and board, bro. Thank you. I'm good.
He's like, who do you got on your team? Oh, it doesn't matter anyways. I suck at offense, so we're good. I'll figure it out.
Dude, Matt, I'm telling you, man, that's what. Let me tell you something right now. I think that's a great way to end today's segue. Is this retard to end this? How retarded of a move that could have been, and like, but I'm thankful because as a loyal Cincinnati Bengals fan,
Cincinnati Bengals fan, I mean, you couldn't have been happier.
Thankful for it. I'm sure the Ravens are thankful. The Browns are also just as thankful for you hiring one of the worst offensive coordinators possible. And anyone that says anything differently is absolutely doesn't know football or never watched the Atlanta game or doesn't know anything about it because the media questioned him and the fan base already is getting on him for this horrible move.
I don't understand how you could even justify it. Like, how do you introduce him?
Dude, he should have no job, bro.
Like, how do you introduce that guy and then at his introduction, whatever it is, media day, like, well, okay, why him? Because you know that's going to be the question. Like, literally, they're just going to be drilling.
I'm looking forward to it. Like, yo, I want to see that day. like, why?
Oh my god, they're just going to like, and if they don't, then those media people should be fired. Like, their job is to be like, what the F? Like,
the front office, the GM, all of them. Then if this doesn't work, dude, that whole thing's going, which is most likely isn't, because if he couldn't do what he did in Atlanta with wait, hold on, mind you, this Atlanta has one of the worst divisions to play in, right? Everyone made the fucking playoffs practically, and like the guy in under 500, you win. Then you go to a division where everyone was over 500 and had winning records in ours, which no one had in a long time. You're like, what? Like, that's what you bring in after you just realize how competitive this division is with all four teams now?
I love how you did it again. And it's amazing, man. I think this might have to go live. Even though I've got the dumb paint chips behind me, I might have to go live and just say drop it.
I'm just saying, man, like, if I could look at them and like I just look at them like, what were you really thinking? Or were you not thinking at all?
Keeping it weird, Austin, Texas,
dude,
man.
Super weird and super awkward. But thank you, though. I'm grateful for your move tonight.
Yes,
I am.
You should send him a little gift, a little Pittsburgh Steeler. Like, you should take the terrible towel and like write on it like you guys suck and send it back to them or something.
Yeah, and black and orange. But thanks for the great hire. Appreciate it, dude. But you know what, though? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, you never know. Sometimes people are better. Like, you see this, I mean, and I'm not saying he is one of them, so by no means, but sometimes being a head coach is a lot different. Sometimes you see people excel in OC, DC, and then get to that next level, and they can't do.
They had so much trouble in that locker room, though. Like, bro, no one was paying attention. Yeah. Dude, what's Mike Tomlin going to say at these press conferences when they realize how bad the offense went the opposite way of what you were trying to do? What? Like, hey, Mike, why did you hire this guy that's right next to you? Are you kidding me?
They're going to be like, Mike, were you smoking? Were you high? Just come on. Like, you give us a reason.
I would have been like, Mike, did you co-sign this? I really hope you did. And you were like, no. And they did it anyway, or something wild. I don't know.
It'd be hilarious if Mike's not even a part of the news conference when they introduce him. It's just like
Mike's like,
it's just the
Mike's
GM.
like, I didn't want to be there. I'm on vacation. I'll see you when I get back.
He's like, why didn't I quit? What? Why didn't I quit? He's like, well, shit. Now I'm gonna get fired, so that's gonna be out of the question next year.
Like, well, you just really potentially just gave me my headstone a little early, and I might not have a winning season for once in my life. But hey, you know, whatever.
Dude, shit, you're right, dude. Could you imagine if this is the first year that he doesn't have a winning season, and it's because they hired.
I'm like, dude,
they hired Arthur Smith.
What a phenomenal move! Thanks, Arthur Smith. Best move ever. GM of the year, bro. Everyone's gonna be so happy with that
Yeah,
stupid
you're
ass
gonna get a
move.
fucking Rolex. It's gonna be broken and run over 5 times, but it'll be good.
Oh my god. So will he'll be, and then he's gonna be looking for another job immediately. Like, you're fired, bro. Like, imagine they just like dump him. Like, they like he just can't catch it. Like,
imagine like
I can't.
imagine they fire him like after week 3 because he often sucks. And it's just like it's a disaster. And they're just like, you're fired, dude. Don't even bother
Kenny
coming back to
Pickett
work.
and Pickett's like both Pickett and Pickens are like flipping out. Najee wants out. Like, dude, it's just bad, bro.
All right, well, let's talk about some good, man. We're gonna wrap up the show really quickly. We're gonna hit this really quick. We're about like 30 something, 40 minutes in, whatever. Who cares?
Sounds good.
Minutes in. We'll talk about the East West Shrine Bowl. So it's obviously the beginning of the off season. So this is when everything starts, man. Start looking at all the rookies. Start getting prepped. Start taking a look at who's coming out there. Like I said, the East West Shrine Bowl is on in the background now. It's Thursday the 1st. It is not the obviously the Senior Bowl. So a lot of it is kind of like lower tier, later draft picks, or people that would like just didn't get invited to the Senior Bowl for whatever reason. So I just kind of list out a couple players that I'm interested in and kind of want to keep tabs on. So I'll kind of go through that, and then we can kind of wrap up the show, man. So quarterback. So there's 3 that I was thinking that I personally kind of have been trying to keep tabs on in the background as we're podcasting. It's on my iPod next to me. Jordan Travis, he's the Florida State University quarterback. So a little bit of hype up and down with him. Projected to probably go from what I've seen, some of the mocks that I've seen, 4th or 5th round probably. So later QB. A couple of times that I've done mocks for the Bears, I was like, if they keep Justin, this could be a player that they bring in later on, like later in the draft, and see if they can develop him. So I think he's interesting. Got some talent for sure. Austin Reed, Western Kentucky University. Excuse me. So I'm in a CDC Campus to Canton League, and he's actually one of the quarterbacks that I have. So he was pretty good actually for Western Kentucky. Scored a lot of points. It was pretty potent offense. And then to wrap it up, University of Kentucky. My niece actually goes there. So Devin Leary, I actually watched the game. If you remember, there was a game that I went to in South Carolina. So University of Kentucky came to play, and Devin Leary was the quarterback there, and he's in the East-West Shrine Bowl. So I want to keep an eye on him and see how well he does. Running backs. Frank Gore Jr. out of Southern Miss. So he actually, right before he jumped on the podcast, I was telling Pat, he had a 40-yard run, broke a touchdown for 40 yards. He is obviously the son of Frank Gore. Looks just like him, actually. It's kind of weird. It's like really weird. He's stocky and looks almost like verbatim like him. Then you got Carson Steele out of UCLA. He was a high prospect for a while there, and then kind of the past year or so it's kind of fallen down a little bit as far as his draft prospect and his stock. I still think he can be a really good, day 2, probably running back. I could easily see him in the 3rd round being drafted or early 4th round. I still think he's pretty good. So he's pretty big, got a lot of moxie behind him. So it'll be interesting to see how he does. Excuse me. Wide receivers got a couple. Malik Washington is the name to know. He's out of Virginia. So he had an awesome practice this week. There's a lot of hype, a lot of buzz around him. Was catching everything around him. So he was doing so well. He actually opted out of the game itself. Apparently the news that he got was that he was doing so well, you don't want to screw it up or get injured. So he opted out of the game. But Malik Washington, definitely the top wide receiver. Taj Washington out of USC is another. He played obviously with Caleb Williams, another prospect that'll be a little bit later. He's actually getting a lot of buzz that I'd heard right before jumping on. Drake Stoops. So the son of Coach Stoops. So Oklahoma walk-on, wide receiver, did pretty well. Apparently, pretty good route runner. I haven't really studied him or looked at him greatly. And then lastly, rounding out the tight ends, there's really only one of them that I put down, JT Sanders. So he's a tight end out of Texas. Again, kind of had a lot of hype throughout the past couple of years. Probably be a early day 3 tight end, if not a late day 2. Yeah, so that's kind of who we got, man. So and then Saturday we've got the Senior Bowl.
Yeah, so that's where I'm going to be more interested in that. I want to kind of see that'll be into for sure. I'll definitely take some notes on that one, see what we got going on.
Yeah, it's Saturday. I want to say at 2. I'm not sure what the time is necessarily, but it's in the afternoon. I'm definitely going to be watching that with the bird's eye view. we'll start getting our drafting prospect on. I've got which Pat, we can talk about this, off side, but I signed up for some all 22s. So there's a service that I've got where we can have access to all 22s and start drafting and looking at videos for the prospects. We'll start giving our thoughts on.
I like it. I'm with it.
Yeah. So we can start to do a little more scouting, man. So that's our goal, and see what we could do. And then once we start to kind of mess around a little more on YouTube, we could not really allowed to throw videos up because you'll get banned without copyrights. But we'll start giving a little more rookie prospects. Like I said, our plan is to have James on sooner rather than later, and we'll talk about Dynasty and some pet peeves in Dynasty. We'll talk about startup theory. Kind of this offseason will be a lot about rookies and Dynasty part of fantasy football, and then go from there, man. So what else you got, dude, before you sign off?
Have a shot, relax after, my little incident today.
Are you doing tequila?
I had one already. Yeah, I did it already. I'll have another one later, but it's fine. Just be like my nightcap.
Casa Azul? Was it Casa Azul?
No, I have some Don Julio tonight, which is good.
Ooh, all right.
Very delish. And that's it.
I think that should be our maybe every time when we sign on, we should just do a shot when we sign on to start the podcast, man.
I'm fine with that, dude. Shot a day keeps the doctor away. I'm cool with that.
Hell yeah. And then I'm going to build up my background. I need to get some fancy, cool stuff behind me. And
I have another chase that's being built as we speak. It's down not too far from my house. They're doing a new frame, the black jersey I got signed.
I was going to say, it's got to be the black jersey because you got the orange behind you. So
yeah, man. Black one's coming. Then I'm going to go to white one. I'll have all of them.
If they,
I'm obsessed.
I was debating on getting a Bears one, but I'm like, DJ would probably the one that I'd get. I don't want to. Fields I like, but I like if it's Caleb, I'll get a Caleb. If they draft Caleb, I'm getting a Caleb right away.
Or you just go with a classic of somebody else, like
Well, Walter Payton, dude, he's like like sweetness, man. He's like.
What about Urlacher? Wouldn't be there?
I was never really a big Urlacher. I mean, he was good, but I was never really a big Urlacher fan.
All right.
Personally, I just was never really felt the connection with Urlacher. I just felt like he was like a dope.
I'll get you a Matt Forte jersey, bro. You'll be all right, man.
I would take that. I would take a Matt Forte jersey.
That's a dope jersey, dude. He was great, man. He won me leagues back in the day.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, quick, man. You want to talk about your art exhibit? For anybody who happens to be in the area? I mean, throw that out, man. Throw it out in the waves,
sure,
dude.
Why not, man? Yeah, we have time.
I'll take a swig of beer while you're doing that, too.
Yeah, March 2nd. Actually, some of the art is actually right behind my shoulder. March 2nd, and I'm located in northern New Jersey. It's at my buddy Abe & Co. Jewelers. He's actually letting me use his full storefront as an art exhibit, which is going to cool a little exhibition we're doing. So some really cool, interesting pieces, man. Abstract minds, bro. Super cool. I'm on Instagram and all over. Website, you name it. So come check it out if you're in the area, bro. Why not? Can't hurt.
Wait, did you build the website yourself or do you have somebody else do it?
No, I'm working on it myself. You can tell, but it doesn't look horrible, man.
I was going to say, man, if you got any talent, you need to start working on art shit, dude.
Yeah, man, I'm down, bro. I'll fucking hook you up, bro. Make
what you should do? Man. I need to get you to do, we need to talk offline, but I need to get you to do Elite Fantasy Nation, do our new logo or something like that. Do it in some cool, like graffiti font or something. I don't know.
I'm fine with that. I'll make it work, bro. Yeah. We got this.
All right, brother. Until next time, man. Peace. We're out.
Drive safely.
Yeah, don't get hit by a car. And watch out for losing your wheels. That sucks.
Oh, man. Peace.
Peace. I don't know.